Greetings, programs. Today we're going to learn how to recode variables. The reason why you recode variables is to create a smaller version of an existing variable so you can use it for certain types of analysis. The finished assignment that you are going to turn in will be some kind of document with just 3 frequency tables on it. The tables will be of your recoded variables. I will show you an example of that. Once again, make the document professional. Give it a cover page as if you're turning it into a superior. You can use the same ultra cool research company name that you used before. Also, I want you to keep your eyes open for an email you'll receive from Alan Risley. This is his email address. It contains a link for you to create an ArcGIS account. Okay, when you get the email, I want you to immediately click the link and create that account. Without an account, you cannot do the GIS assignment, which we're going to get to in a few weeks. Okay? So don't make things tough for yourself. All right. We need the GSS92 subset data file. I told you to save it in a folder, so I think the easiest thing for you to do is however you start SPSS, start it. And when it pops up, I want you to, well, let's see. I guess I'll just wait for it. Hey, there it is. The most expensive software you can buy for social science research, and it takes its sweet time. So when it opens up, I want you to click Open Another File, and click Open, and then, wherever you have your data file folder, you should have the GSS93 subset, and go ahead and open it in there. Okay? Now remember, every time we open SPSS, we are going to go to Edit and Options, and you must make sure that Display Names is clicked and Alphabetical is clicked. Both of these things. A lot of students just click Alphabetical, but they forget to click Display Names. Do not do that. Okay, so click Apply and OK. And then I'm going to go back to the class and open the Recode Instructions. Bing, bing. So I'm going to click Enable Editing, maybe make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to click up here in the upper right to, shrink it down a little bit, and then I'm going to put my little mousey in the blue header section and hold down the left clicker and drag it over to the left so it fills up half the screen, and then I'm just going to click on the database to fill up the other half of the screen. Okay, maybe when you click the database, you'll have to pull this way over to the right, or it'll only fill half the screen, so you'll have to grab the bottom and drag it down to here. But ultimately, this is what you want it to look like. Okay, so these steps for recoding the variables, all 11 steps given to you generously by Kilpatrick are right there. But before we get into it, I want to show you this. Remember, I said the assignment you're going to turn in has 3 frequency tables from the 3 problems. When you are done with problem 1 and you have copied and pasted your table, and you're ready to start the next problem, before you start the next problem, you must click Reset in the original Recode window. If you forget to do that, oh my, are you going to have just so much fun. So the first step in recoding is to find the original variable values. And this button right there that says variables is the magic button that 95% of the time you use to do that. So I'm going to click it, right? Every single variable in the data set is in this list. And when you click on a variable, it'll show you, this information is what we're looking for. So I'm going to click on Big Band, and what it has is all of the answers to Big Band. And more importantly, their corresponding numeric values. Okay, so I can see that there are 5 valid answers and then 3 missing values, right? NAP, which stands for not applicable. Don't know much, which really should be just capital DK. And capital NA, which stands for no answer. So once you know what these things are, basically that 0 stands for NAP, 8 is DK, and 9 is NA, then you can just cancel this sucker and go to the next step. Go to transform, recode into different variables. Here's transform on the menu bar. Notice how there's 2 recodes right next to each other. Always pick recode into different variables. Okay? The next step is to move the original variable into the middle window. So here is Big Band. That's what we're recoding. And I'm going to move it over there. Now notice before I did that the right-hand side of this window was not lit up. But when I move Big Band, bada bing, bada boom, there it is. And that allows you to do step 4, which is to type a new name and label into these cells. So I want you to type Big Band 1 for the name. Doesn't matter, uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that you cannot type a space or any kind of a symbol in this name. The only symbol you can put in here is an underscore. But we don't need it, so it's just Big Band 1, all one word. And the label is going to be Big Band Music Recoding. And notice how in the label, case does matter. Remember, every time you make a label, you must use title case. That means that the first letter in each word is capitalized, except for itty-bitty little tiny words like articles and prepositions, like and the and is and to and things like that. And don't forget to click change. Oh my, you must click change. Okay, the next step, 5, is to click old and new values. Here it is, the biggest button on the window. And wow, look at that. It's like a whole new window. Look at that, it is a whole new window. All right. Now this is where you make your value changes. The only thing you can put in this whole window is numbers. You cannot type text in these cells. Okay? And when you do recodes, I only want you to use on the left-hand side this value button or this range button. Okay, there's a lot of ranges here, but I only want you to use this one. Okay, remember there were 5 valid answers. And 1 was like very much, and 2 was like it. And what we're going to do is we're going to change those 5 answers into 3 answers. So we're going to take a range of 1 through 2 and change that into a new answer of 1. So what we're doing is we're taking like very much and like it in the old variable, and in the new variable we're making that condensed Those two answers condensed into a value of 1. Okay? See how this window is laid out? Everything on the left is for the old original variable. All the values on the right are for the new variable. Okay, so after we set this up, 1 through 2 equals 1, we must click add. Okay, the last two answers are 4 through 5 equals a value of 3 in the new variable. 4 is dislike it, 5 is dislike very much, and we're just going to change that into one answer with a value of 3, and I have to add that. Okay, the only other answer in the original variable was the third answer, which was mixed feelings. And it's not a range, it's just the value of 3. So we're going to change 3 into 2. Okay? All we're doing is changing one value to another value, and we're going to add it. So look at what we've done. We've taken the values for all 5 answers in the original variable, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we've changed them to only 3 answers in the new variable, 1, 2, and 3, just like the owl said. But you don't know that commercial. Okay, when you are done with all valid answers, the last thing that you must do in every single recode is to click all other values and copy old values. All right? On the left, it's all other values, and on the right, it's copy old values, and you must click add. Okay, and it gives you this funky language, which you get to learn in a few weeks. Oh man, is it going to drive you crazy. But we're all done here in the recode into different variables. So like it says in step 7, click continue and then click OK, and oh my God, everything went away. But remember, when we clicked OK, we executed a command in the data window, and it shows up over here. This is just the same thing, that syntax language that you're going to get to learn later. You know, telling you what you just did. All right, so let's go back to the data window and back to our little steps for recoding variables. And, you know, after you click OK, you have to go to the database and make sure that you're in variable view. Remember these 2 tabs, right? Data view and variable view. Make sure you're in variable view. Scroll to the bottom and you will see, hey, there's big band 1. That's the variable I just made. And the last 2 things that you have to do is to create all value labels and assign missing values. So you can see that you have the name that you created, big band music recoded that you created, but you have these 2 cells, the values and missing. And this is where you need to work. Okay? So if you click in values, you'll see this little button. Click it, and we're going to make value labels for the new variable, which only has 3 answers. Remember, so for the value of 1 for the first answer, we're going to click like it and click add. And then I'm going to show you something now. I'm going to leave my little mousey over here, and I'm going to hit 2 in the value and then hit tab. And that moves the cursor to label. And I'm going to type the value label for for the second answer, which is mixed feelings, and then I'm going to hit tab and enter. If you can work in these windows without touching the mouse, you'll go so much faster. So the third answer is the value of 3, hit tab, The label is dislike it, and tab and enter. Okay, now notice on these labels, these value labels, I'm using title case. You know, the M and the F are capitalized, and the D and the I, and the L and the I are capitalized, okay? But we're not done here. We need to make labels for the missing values also. Remember, when we looked up the original variable, 0 was the value for capital NAP. So I type that in, hit tab, enter. 8 tab was the value for capital DK, don't know. Tab, enter. 9 tab, and 9 is the value for capital NA, tab, enter. And voila! We have all 6 of the labels that we need to create. Okay? And then you can just click OK, or if you're totally cool, you can hit tab 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit enter. Poof! And that's just like clicking OK. All right? But we also have to do missing values, which is the cell right next door. If you click in it, it has the same little button, and I want you always to use the discrete missing values button. Okay? And our missing values were 0, 8, and 9. So I'm just going to hit 0 and hit tab and hit 8 and hit tab and hit 9, and then I can just click OK. So, bing! And then I can run a frequency table on this recoded variable. All right, so let's give it a try. Analyze, descriptive statistics, and frequencies. Okay? Bing! And the cool reason to make the new variable big band 1 is because it appears right next to or very close to big band. So don't make the mistake of running the frequency on the original variable. That happens. You don't want to do that. You always want to run the frequency on the recoded variable and click OK, and poof, there it is, right? There's your label, Big Band Music Recoded. Here are your 3 answers. For, remember, the original variable had 5 answers. This only has 3. And here are the missing values. And the reason why they're down here in their own little category is because you went into this cell and created discrete missing values. Okay? All right, one more thing I have to show you is how to, paste this correctly into Word. Okay, you can paste it into Google Doc, but it's just not going to look as totally cool as it does in Word. Okay, so you must do it this way. Right-click on the table in SPSS, and you click Copy Special. And when this itty bitty window pops up, I want you to click every single button. Yes, including the one that says Save as Default. And then click OK. And then I want you to open a new Word document. And you might want to put your name, like Recode Kilpatrick is my last name. You want to use your last name. And then, instead of right-clicking and pasting, I want you to come up here and click this little paste menu and pick Paste Special. And when you get this menu in this window, I want you to pick the first picture file and then click OK. And what that does is not only does it pastes it like a picture. It pastes it exactly the way it looks in SPSS, and that's what I want. If you just right-click and paste, guess what? Bing! I take a couple points away. Plus, if you paste it like a picture, you can grab one of these little things and woo, look at it go! You can make it smaller, which is like too small, and bigger, which is way too big. You know, you probably want to make it about that big. And then you can have the cursor there for the next one. Oh my. Okay, just for you Google Doc fans, if you're going to paste it like this in Google Doc, the only way that I've been able to figure out how to do it is to copy it, you know, right click and copy special from here, and then open up a PowerPoint page, you know, a new blank presentation, whenever it decides to open up, and paste that window, or, oh God, I don't want that. Anyway, you paste the table into a blank PowerPoint slide, and then just right-click and copy it, and right-click and paste it into your Word document. Okay, back to the class. I want you to open up the Recode Assignment. Okay, notice how I have the practice recode that we just did. We just did this big band, okay? Whoops. So this is what this is gonna, you know, Recode problems are gonna look just like this. So what we just did is we recoded big band into a variable with the new variable name big band 1 and the new variable label big band music recoded. So your first problem, you're going to have to recode income 91 into a new variable with a name income 40 and a label total family income recoded. Okay? Now I'm pretty much flat out giving you all the changes, but it might not hurt just to look at the old variable anyway, because that's going to help you decide what to put for DK and NA. And here's a little tricky thing. In the original variable, 22 refused is a valid answer. Now I want you to make it a missing value. Okay? So then the next one, recode sex freak. And then you have to figure out what to put for DK, NA, and NAP. And then the last one, recode marital into marital status recoded. And again, you have to not only figure out what to put for the missing values, but this is going to drive you crazy, right? There's 5 answers in the original married variable. You have to figure out how to make it 2 answers. You know, honestly, all 3 of these are going to make you think. And that's what we want, don't we? We want to learn how to think and work our way through problems, because that's what employers want. All right? So give it your best shot. Come into the office hours if you are stuck, and maybe I'll help you. All right. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye then.